Well, for more on this, let's bring in Ulrich Bruckner, who is in the German capital. He is a professor of European Studies at Stanford University in Berlin. Thank you for joining us on the programme. So, Arctic Sentry, a grand name, and I wonder if the name gives something away there. You know, of course, that inference to soldiers, but then also sentry. Perhaps this is a long-term vision of enhancing security in the Arctic.
Well, it is definitely a part of the world in which NATO didn't pay as much attention as it did to other parts of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization territory. And it is definitely also a signal to the White House that the complaints of Donald Trump that the Europeans do not pay attention enough to a changing geopolitical environment in the very north needs to be addressed by Europeans and by the collective security architecture. So on the one hand, it's a routine meeting. On the other hand, it is sort of an overture to what is coming up next in the coming days at the Munich Security Conference.
Ulrich, how important on that agenda will weapons be for Ukraine? Still no peace deal, despite much talking between various powers. How badly does Ukraine need a deal on weapons?
Well, this is what we have been discussing already before the invasion of Russia in 2022. Is Ukraine strong enough to defend itself? And other than what Donald Trump wants us to make believe is that the Europeans have always done more than the United States, while on the other hand, Ukraine is more dependent on information, on surveillance, on ammunition and spare parts. But financially, the Europeans have done more. If this is enough as a game changer is a speculation that no one can tell because we don't know how long it's going to take to agree on a peace, whatever settlement. But there is a need to send a strong signal that Ukraine gets support from the Europeans and also from NATO.
And just expanding on your point that the US is distancing itself from Europe, and Europe is really saying that they're aware that they need to take on the defence here. So with NATO acting as they are with this meeting, are they then reacting to a greater threat?
Well, they will present the threat perception as something that needs urgent action and also a restructuring of the spending of NATO members. Because without an imminent threat, there is a difficult public discourse going on about, do we set the right priorities? When we look at the debt ratios in leading countries and the upcoming elections, there is a big divide in a number of countries whether this is the right way of spending rare resources at times like these. On the other hand, if you don't read the signs on the wall and just keep going as if peace dividend is still real, then you will not play a role in the world and you become a condition taker. This is why there has to be a strong signal. And on the other hand, there is no reason for hysteria.
OK, we will follow developments closely. Professor of European Studies at Stanford University in Berlin, Ulrich Bruckner, we thank you for your expertise.